Recently, many dudes have came to me saying how they're getting friend zoned a lot. And often it's one friend zone too many that kicks them into gear and says, all right, I got enough of this. What is going on? Because for the modern seeker, there's often an attempt to transcend their humanness, their spark, their riz, their sexual potency, their wild authenticity. And it is this wild authenticity that I find is the most appealing thing to a conscious woman. They want to feel the freedom within you as you speak. And unfortunately, this, what they're calling spirituality, has been a pacification, even a disassociation, and can even become some sort of politically correct way of being. But it's not embodied in his juice. In fact, he's probably made a conscious effort to run away from it. And it's the man who can embrace it all, loves his humanness, understands the dynamics, not through just a indoctrination knowledge lens, but through an experience of his energy. This is one of the hardest things to sort of communicate with the man who is going down a more transcendent path. And he's like, he can read the red pill stuff, but be like, why would I be with a woman if I can't express everything to me? He has a point here. You should express everything. I always speak my truth. To hold back my truth hurts my energy, hurts my power. And when I did that in the past, it was like, I didn't want to ruffle feathers. But these big conversations within relationship are often catapults into depth. So I never hold back my truth. But where the newly spiritual person who's maybe in their healy-feely, woundy phase is, he is expressing from his wound. He is expressing from his pain. He has been told that vulnerability is depth. Where a conscious woman who's already been there, done that, and isn't here to hold space for a man who is still stuck in the wounding. She's wanting a man who's already done that, not because he's fully healed or has no scars or is perfect, but the highest expression of the masculine isn't about the wounds and the stories that he's carried from the past. He's gone beyond it. He's moved through it. And it's like, an example of this could be if I come home from work and I had a shock, like let's say you had a bad day and one guy threw you off your center and you're still carrying a bit of it. As a man, energetically, you don't want to say that to your woman. You just know it's not the time and the place. Hey, how was your day? It's a big one. Glad it's over. How are you? Where the emotionally expressed, identified man would be like, oh yeah, this happened and this happened and this happened. And they think that's what conscious communication is and what depth is. But it's not. It shows that that's just the phase that you're in. Because these wounds, when I was in a shame wound, that was just at the forefront of my experience. When you move through that, it's just like way gone, you know? And it's not that you're not introspective. It's not that you're moving through things. It's not that you're spiritually bypassing. It's just clear when you speak to certain people at the stage of their development, which is fine. But on an energetic level, it makes perfect sense. That women are often pendulum swinging between getting with a guy who's a dude, who does the dude stuff, who's good sex, who knows the dynamics and does them, but feels like he's underexpressed. And then she wants a more expressed person who she can actually go deep with. But then she goes into the more spiritual dude who's very expressed, but wants to process everything, and it falls out of polarity, and she ends up, would rather be with that guy. This is why this spiritual dude makes great friend zone. Because it's more in a feminine way of relating. You know, you can lay around, speak about your emotions, do the process and stuff. It's all nice. But she doesn't feel the juice. She doesn't feel that sexual friction, which isn't forced. It's just a thing of you being in your masculine expression, that when you're speaking to a feminine woman, there is that. And it's beautiful. And you don't have to play with it. That's the thing of understanding this on an energetic, and then let's say red pill stuff, which has its truth and has its bullshit. But dudes who just take in the information and try do all the stuff are lacking the wild authenticity. They're just putting themselves into a new program and putting themselves in a box. And although it can work for certain women, the conscious woman wants to feel your freedom. that is why when you come down and run from the energetic, a lot of that masculinity, relationship dynamic starts to become natural within you. Because if you're doing it inwardly on an energetic and embracing your essence, embracing your power, being grounded, speaking with penetration and potency, a lot of that illuminates and you go, I see it now. And now you're not performing, because there's a lot of performance in the polarity and spirituality, and you're trying to be something other than yourself. When you can embrace your wild authenticity, you'll be surprised what happens, because it's refreshing to most. You know, in a place of an image-based, create your own identity facade, a dude who can break out and be free and speak from his imperfect self and embrace his human nature, it's a masterpiece. And from this is where your creativity comes. From this is where your true spirituality comes. Because spirituality should ignite the flame within you. It's not a pacification of your human things, but through operating in a more connected way, the way you interact with those things can change and merge and evolve into something higher that brings you closer to that connection that you're seeking. But without the basis of that wild authenticity, this is really what they desire. You know, women would be like, oh yeah, they like bad boys, they like to be treated mean, they want tattoos and muscles. Sure, some do. But it's your freedom in you that is the rebellion. You don't have to be a bad boy. But in this world, to break free from the shackles of the rules that are not real, the laws that are not real, and run by your own inner code and embrace your weirdness, your quirkiness, your faults, your shadows, because women are often have a darker side than men. If you think about your sexual experiences and when you're connected with a woman and where you take it, it's rare that they'll say, no, I don't want to go here. They're ready for it. They're aware of their dark side. They die once a month. But the newly spiritual guy is trying to run away from all of that. And you'll find there's certain women in that sphere as well. But you're after the real ones, the ones that are broken free from that. And there is a coming back down. Awareness of your shadows. Awareness of what you're calling dark. When you can accept that, when you can walk in a way that you're not, this part of me is good, this part of me is bad, I'm trying to be this, I don't like that. And you're just walking in a way that you understand there's seasons and flavors and you are all of it. You haven't put yourself in another box into more programming and conditioning. You've let go of the shackles of who you are. You've ignited your spine. And you're like, you know what, I'm going to give it a crack in whatever way that looks like. There's a spicy energy to that. And if you get in friend zone and things like that, you know, you can have this needing to prove yourself through women, which also gives off this neediness and this lack. It's why the dudes who get lots get more, the dudes who get none get less. But it's like that can all be moved through when you see the silliness of it and when you reconnect with this part of yourself. I am running 5-week introduction to sexual energy transmutation courses, which can reconnect you with your masculine power, move through shame and the blocks, and then it can lead into better relating and better sex. It can move past the performance anxiety, because when there is the shame, like if dudes are running away from it and have disconnected from there, you'll be surprised how subtle the shame is moving you away from that, or even judging people who would get with women like it's bad, but deep down there's maybe a yearning or something there that you're running from. If you're not and you're celibate, I've met many celibates who are free. You know, they've done their thing, they've had their thing, and now they're celibate. I've met playboys who are free. You know, there's just an honest evaluation of yourself and what you actually want. Where is their energy? What am I running from? And can you let yourself move in the way you want to move? Dance your own dance, sing your own song. It's a level of freedom that people feel. You know, people, if I speak to someone and I'm on and I like them, they'll feel juiced up. I have a lot of energy. And it's because I'm not wasting it on shit in my own mind, beating myself up, playing small. I'm human too, but there's a sunset and an ocean just over there and things are pretty beautiful. So if you're interested in a sexual energy transmutation course, email me. one-on-one mentoring if you want to go deeper into all the other stuff and not just focus on that. Man of Knowledge community if you're already an integrated man and you just want to be around dudes having big chats. That's still $29 a month because I haven't made many videos. But yeah, dudes have lost their wildness, their spark. You know, this is down here. And when you've got that connected to your heart, you know, you're not playing manipulative games. You're not trying to seek and extract power from others. You're just dancing your own dance, singing your own song. People will think you're weird. Some people will think you're awesome. And you'll actually find the real ones. Because if we're not in that authentic, grounded part of ourselves to begin, it can lead us into different circles that we shouldn't be in. This happens in the spiritualists a lot. In this spirituality, healy-feely patch. That is a stage, if navigated well, lots of lessons to learn. But the masculine path is one of personal power, trusting your code, having the courage to walk your path, and take a step, the path will illuminate. Hit me up, talk soon.